So I'm just wondering, what part of the group are you part of, and what's the event here today about?
Oh, well, I'm here with the Banana Block, and the event here today is about supporting our community in face of people importing hate, and we don't like it when people come and threaten our vulnerable people, and we want to be here to protect those people. Today was a KKK rally, though apparently they decided not to come, at least according to the police, if they're to be believed. Um, and we're just going to have an awesome anti-fascist dance party instead, I suppose.
I heard rumors there might be Patriot Prayer people coming.
I've heard the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see.
Okay.
Sounds like we may have already won the day, though, so excited about that.
I heard about a group that I don't want to be meeting here, the KKK supposedly. I wanted to come out and see if they're really going to show up, for one. And I like taking photographs in my free time. Thought I'd come and try to, capture some images. But I'm really excited to see that there are a lot of other people who are interested in counter-protesting. And yeah, I try to keep up on like protests and social movement stuff that's happening around here. And I think I heard about it through probably like I think Pop Mob, is that what they're called? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, they're they're a Portland protest group.
Yeah, I think I followed them on social media, saw them, mention that there was something going down, so I thought I'd show up.
Okay, so are you going to be getting out there and like protesting, or are you just going to stand back and take photos?
I think I'll probably just take photos. I usually do participate in these sorts of things, but yeah, I wanted to come out and get some pictures today.
What are you recording for?
We're here to, well, the main reason I'm here is to, if the white supremacists show up, to film them and,
I was just asking, like, you guys work for a news channel or something? You guys are very professional.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it looks like a big setup. I got some film equipment and I rented the lens.
Cool, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're all set up.
All I got is like a puny little camcorder here. You don't see this every day, so just you go with it. You recording me right now? That's cool. I'm fine with that. But.
Yeah. So what's your angle here? Are you looking to document the Antifa, or are you looking to see? Do you want to see violence or something?
No, of course. Well, I mean, if you can avoid violence, of course. You don't see this every day. So you,
okay.
Like, you get out chasing and throw your family a friend.
I see. I just.
I'm gonna see a banana playing the drums. You don't see that every day.
Oh.
You know?
Well, are you are you?
A what?
Are you a supporter of Antifa? Or are you critical of Antifa?
I'm a supporter.
Are you a supporter?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm a supporter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I just didn't know this was going on today. I'm happy I found it. So, good. Wish you the best, man. I hope you put that film equipment to good use, so it's very expensive.
Well, we'll try, yeah. Uh-huh.
You have a good day, okay?
Yeah, you too, yeah.
So I'm independent media, but also an anti-fascist organizer. So depending on what kind of things are going on, depends on the role that I play. So in a situation like this, I come primarily to photograph and document what's going on and who shows up and such. So today, Stephen Howard, which is a KKK Grand Wizard. I don't know the ranks very well. It's either Grand Wizard or Imperial Wizard.
Sounds like the king.
Yeah, he was the second or first in command in Mississippi.
Yeah.
He moved over here around the time of Trump's election, and he's been to a few Trump rallies and has been documented as showing up to these Patriot Prayer rallies and such, and it's been pretty non-existent in rallies for a couple years. And he just a couple weeks ago called for this rally and seemed to be fully intended to show up, and last minute canceled with the Portland police, let them know he wasn't going to show up. So now everybody's just hanging out. There's going to be pizza coming, and we were going to take advantage by, hanging out.
So you say you're an independent media guy as well. And so is your purpose to just to get good shots, or are you here to like protect Antifa and counter?
Well, I
disinformation?
tend to not play the role of any kind of physical protection. Have been in positions where I have done that, but because it was things that had escalated to a point where people, things had escalated. One situation was one of the Patriot Prayer guys. He's a guy named Demi Cooper, was attacking a smaller femme and had her on the ground. And in that situation, I had restrained him. So there's been a couple of situations where I've had to do that, but in general, I'm hands off. I'm here to document. It's kind of my role.
So you're with the Socialist Alternative? Is that the Socialist Party, Democrat Party, or is that different?
No, we're not part of the Democratic Party. We actually believe in building a independent working class political party because we think both big corporate parties have failed working class and oppressed people in this country. That being said, we do support Bernie Sanders for presidency largely because we believe in his agenda of Medicare for all, of rent control, of most of all building a grassroots movement to actually affect change in this country.
Just ask a buck or two.
But we definitely believe in the need to build grassroots movements to organize outside of the main party structures.
Okay.
And that's part of what we've been able to do. We actually have a city councilwoman up in Seattle named Shama Sawan, who's run as a socialist alternative member, not affiliated with the Democratic Party, and actually
We made a handful
has
of them.
used that council position to mobilize to win $15 an hour, has won millions of dollars for affordable public housing, and we think that that's kind of a microcosm of an example of what's possible across the country if we start having politicians that are activists instead of just being kind of career politicians. So we're gonna get in here and do some schmoozing behind the scenes and just doing enough change that's acceptable to the corporate establishment. We think we need to completely challenge capitalism and their representatives. We think that the problems that we're seeing today, increasing inequality, environmental destruction, lack of workers' rights, and racism and sexism, and all these problems are inherent to the capitalist system and actually are what it thrives on. So we believe, we're called Socialist Alternative because we believe socialism is the only real alternative to the crisis in capitalism.
So I'm intrigued. If Elizabeth Warren gets the nomination, would you support her as a socialist?
No, I would not support Elizabeth Warren. I think that even though she has some policies that I would support on the surface, I think that she has said openly, I'm a capitalist. She has not been using her campaign to really build a grassroots movement. Bernie has said, I'll be the organizer-in-chief. So I think that Elizabeth Warren has supported sanctions on Venezuela. She's been hawkish on a lot of different issues. And I think, even though she might be to the left of, say, a Joe Biden figure, we're really looking for someone who is shaking up the status quo.
Right.
And who's actually the essential thing for me is mobilizing regular people to be politically active.
Right.
Bernie marches on picket lines, really has this pro-working class message that I don't think even if Elizabeth Warren would definitely be preferable to some of the other Democratic candidates.
Right, so that's what I'm wondering. If, let's say, Elizabeth Warren gets the nomination, I mean, do you think, not you personally maybe, but do you think your group would support her? I mean, because if you don't support her, it's sort of supporting Donald Trump.
I think that lesser evilism argument has gotten us where we are today in terms of, if you're thinking about the long term of the situation, I feel like the Democratic Party has really been kind of really good at saying, oh, look at how evil and monstrous this right-winger is. You have to accept whoever we put in front of you. Therefore, even if they're completely a centrist who is not fighting for healthcare for all, is not doing these things. And we think the key thing is building up grassroots political power, because what matters is not necessarily who's in office. What matters is what are the forces on the ground. So what we will do, regardless of who the nominee is try to mobilize to build the broadest grassroots movement to actually win a platform that helps working and oppressed people. So I can promise that that's what we'll focus on. Yeah. But I don't think Elizabeth Warren is a step in that direction.
It's important to create an alternative narrative at times like this, and also create a big distracting event from something that comes into town to be hateful, and take back our city and make the city that we want it to be, which is one of acceptance and joy.
And what do you think you're bringing here? What do you are you doing a dancing or entertainment? Or
Yeah,
part
so
of
we're
that?
gonna stick with Banana Block at least for a little while, and so that's part of the we're throwing our own party in resistance, and also part of what they do is if anyone is in danger or feeling extra vulnerable, we'll pull them aside and give them resources, and then at some point if we want to leave Banana Block, we'll just go dance.
Asking to talk to somebody in DSA leadership. This is Olivia. She's the co-chair of the DSA.
We are here to stand up for our city and stand up against fascists who continually try to mobilize here. You know, we heard that the KKK were having a rally here. They've since said they've canceled it, but I mean, it's our duty to show up. This is our community, these are our streets, and if we have to show up 1,000 times over and over again to make that clear, we will. We are anti-racist, anti-fascist, anti-capitalist. We are socialists. We know that a better world is possible, and that to beat racism, to beat fascism, we need to also dismantle capitalism. And all of our struggles are intersected, and showing up for these events is just one small part of what we do, but it's a very important.
Can I first ask you a question?
Sure.
Your hat is it like a coffee cup upside down?
It's supposed to be a beer stein. And it's a beer foam, is what it's supposed to be, yeah. It does kind of look like a coffee cup too, yeah. I just saw you on the edge of the group here, and I'm just wondering, are you showing out to support the sort of this Antifa thing, or what are you?
Yes, we are in solidarity with Antifa. Gay against the KKK. To shine brighter than the KKK.
Okay. Yeah. So you're kind of like on the edge though. It's like, shouldn't you be pointing the sign towards the people? Or I see you're getting traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
Very honest, I'm just here as a member of the queer community. I'm sort of here to represent the ancestors, the hat, the feather. It kind of relates back to my faith. I try and practice a small form of esoteric beliefs from the Caribbean, Vodou. I try and stay away from Santeria as it involves the saints, and I don't really touch anything that's aligned with the church. I'm here sort of. I guess I describe myself as an intermediary. If things go sideways, I'm good with prayer, so I guess spiritual support. Diffuse tight situations, if need be. I brought the new King James Version of the Bible with me. I have no issue throwing a few verses around if that'll calm the masses. I understand that tensions get high. I understand blood starts to boil at some point, but if we devolve ourselves to the level of animals and beasts, then who is better than who?
We have a resolution with Local 10 that's anti-racist, anti-white national, and with that resolution, we feel an obligation to stand up for all workers in all situations, and we believe that racism is absolutely a labor issue. Chicago seen what we were doing out here, and they were inspired by that, took that resolution, passed it in their own area, and then took it on to the international convention for IUPAT, the International Union of Patriotic Trades, and passed an anti-racist, anti-white national, anti-Klan resolution in the international as well. So then Chicago wanted to thank us for getting that resolution started, and with that they went ahead and had this banner created and sent it back to us, and so with that we just know that we're just proud to have been acknowledged, and proud to see other people kind of move along with us. So.
And fearful of the Klan, or you feel supported, or what's your thought about?
I'm not fearful for the Klan, and we come outside here to make a stand for what we believe, and that's why we are here. But there's no fear. Yeah. The only thing to fear is fear itself. I'm from Panama. I'm a Panama City.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a U.S. citizen.
Okay. how long have you been in America?
25 years.
Oh, okay. When you came here, was it different than you thought? Like, do you think there's more racism here than you thought?
Yes, definitely, yes. Also in my country, we have racism in our country. But here, I see it's kind of much more deep. It runs blood deep, so I think it was a surprise to me because coming to a country where I think was freedom and justice and equality for everybody, but it's not the case. So that's why we're outside here today to protest about this type of racism.
Union workers, take a stand. Stop the fascists, stop the Klan. Union workers, take a stand. Stop the fascists, stop the Klan. Union workers, take a stand. Stop the fascists, stop the Klan. Union workers, take a stand. Stop the fascists, stop the Klan.
Well, it's important to show up and let everybody know that we're not going to sit idly by when racists and fascists come into our town. And I'm glad that they are more of a no-show than a shit show today. So we'll just enjoy ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Well, are you, how did you hear about the event? Facebook, yeah. Okay.
Problematic in its own, but you know, it's a good way of getting the message across to a lot of people.
Hey, I'm just wondering, are you part of the protest, or are you just here to observe? Or?
I would say I'm part of the protest, certainly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's, yeah.
Are you are you part of Banana Block or Antifa?
I think we're all. I mean, it's fun to have different words for the different parts of it, but I think for the most part, we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
And that's really like, we're just not going to tolerate domestic terrorists trying to pretend that they have a legitimate platform.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, it's nice to have names for the different things so you can be like, ooh, you know. But in the end, I think we're all Antifa. I think we're all anti-fascist. I don't think it's like a particular group necessarily. I think just recognizing that this is the United States and we have particular freedoms, which is good, but when that freedom extends to hate speech and disgusting treatment of people that are just people, just regular people, then we have a serious problem. And that freedom allows us to go out and say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this. What you're doing is wrong.
That all totally makes sense. And what? So I see the police over there in riot gear. What do they think they're trying to do? What's going on there?
I think they're just doing their jobs. I think they just genuinely believe they're doing their jobs.
Does that
I don't
intimidate you, seeing the police over there?
No, absolutely not. I think it's, you know, that's also part of the U.S. We've always had a very strong, well-funded police force that is often ready to act when they need to, and they feel that they're doing the right thing. I think that their tactics are a little outdated, but I'm not intimidated, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sound a little more moderate than an average Antifa person.
I
can't
consider
imagine
myself
Antifa
moderate, to be honest. Oh. I would consider myself pretty far left. I have very far left views.
But I can't imagine you scrolling "Kill the Pigs" after
no,
having said that.
No, I don't. See, I think the real thing that needs to be remembered is that we're all human beings, and we're all just trying to live our best life together. And in order to do that, we all have to have a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, but the KKK doesn't deserve respect, right? They don't deserve a venue.
I think that a lot of them are confused. I think that a lot of what happens with the KKK and similar groups is that individuals, because of our society, it's so, you know, over the years it's gotten so divided that they don't have a tribe. They feel like they don't have an in-group. They feel like they aren't being listened to. And so instead what they do is they latch on to maybe ideas that are, quite frankly, disgusting. I don't think the individuals that carry those views are bad. I think the sort of...
Officers have observed criminal activity. You are subject to the use of force and or arrest for the criminal behavior. Stay out of the streets and obey all laws.
Does that change your mind hearing that?
Nope.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. Officers have observed criminal activity. You are subject to the use of force and or arrest for the criminal behavior. Stay out of the streets and obey all laws.
This whole thing is a cyclical thing that human doing pretty much the whole entire time we've been hominids. You know.
Yeah. So let's say the Portland police are true. I haven't seen any criminal activity, but let's say it's true and they shut the demonstration down. Does that make you angry?
Yeah, but it also is just the reality of it. Like, I think that you could consider them another faction similar to the KKK, maybe not necessarily with the same beliefs, but they're another in-group. They have their own fraternity.
They're supporting the man and the patriarchy.
Yeah, well, the man is a colloquial way of putting it, sure. But there are views are always laws are only laws because somebody believes they are. That doesn't necessarily make them right.
Yeah. No, are you just here? Are you here at the rally, or are you just walking through?
Old man Antifa.
Oh, you're retired.
Well, I'm not retired as long as there's Nazis, but my son's here. So
cool.
He's running around in Black Bloc somewhere, and I want to support him.
Are you worried about any danger today?
Always. As a parent, you're always worried about danger.
Yeah.
But
are you more worried about? Well, let's say the KKK was showing up. Would you be more worried about the KKK or the police?
I would be more worried about a conflict in which the police would be called in and Antifa would get hurt.
Between the police and Antifa?
Police and anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their job to keep the peace. And I don't envy them. And I know that there have been police connections between, Patriot Prayer and all that stuff. I don't know a ton about it. But what I do know is 99% of the police officers here, they want to go home to their families. They want to just go home and be safe. They want to keep everybody safe. So that's what I'm hoping for. But on the other side, my grandfather fought in World War II. He fought Nazis. Nazis were the bad guys. My father served in the military. My son is fighting Nazis. One of these days, you just gotta hope that there aren't Nazis anymore. It's too much.
Totally.
So, hopefully, Patriot Prayer and KKK will all go home and think about what it means to be an American. This country was founded on the idea that all men are created equal, everywhere. And until, they understand that, they can't call themselves patriots, they can't call themselves prayerful, because they're not. We all have to live together, and that's something we gotta fight for. They can't call themselves patriots, and they can't call themselves prayerful. Because if you love this country, you love the fact that this country was built on the idea that all men, all people are created equal. That's what it's all about. And it really bums me out that we have to be here. It really bums me out that my son has to fight so hard against the Nazis.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. As a reminder, filming in public is legal. Assaulting individuals for filming is not legal. You are subject to force and/or arrest for assaulting individuals who are filming.
Okay, so what is your thought about this situation? They just said they've witnessed criminal activity. People being filming are threatened. I haven't been threatened. Are they making stuff up?
Filming in public is legal. Assaulting individuals for filming is not legal. You are subject to force and/or arrest for assaulting individuals who are filming.
I honestly don't know what's going on with this situation. I really don't. But
do you think they're making that up, or do you think that there really was an assault on a filmmaker? No.
I don't know. I saw a crowd of people running, so I don't know. I know in situations like this, tempers run high and people get hurt. I was a journalist for years. I've been in riots. I was in a riot in the first Gulf War, and I watched peaceful hippies, for lack of a better word, be beaten with an American flag from people who were for the war. So I've seen it. I know how dangerous this can be.
So let's say that there's a videographer here and they're like a right-wing troll and they're just they want to film Antifa and get stuff like that. do you think they should be tolerated because this is a public space and respected, or is it reasonable to push them out and tell them you can't film without consent?
As much as I hate the message, I believe in freedom of the press. And the current administration is trying to destroy freedom of the press. You know, our so-called president talking about the fake New York Times and fake news and fake this. Journalism across the board is there to shine light everywhere. Now, if there are right-wing Nazi camera people here, I think they should be left alone. I do. I mean, it is that balance between freedom of speech. If they're attacking someone, if they're being inflammatory and yelling things and causing problems, well, maybe they deserve to be chased off. But if someone's just standing there taking pictures, I can't advocate violence anywhere. But I certainly can't advocate violence against people of the president.
I totally agree with you. I'm against violence, but let's say one random person punches a conservative journalist. Is it fair for the police to shut this whole rally down because of this one person who did something?
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
So you think they might be justified in shutting the rally?
The second violence begins,
yeah.
That's the tipping point. That's the tipping point. I mean, these are Nazis. They really suck. I don't want them here. I don't want anyone to get hurt. That's kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah, more or less. Just walking by, saw a gathering, decided to stop and check it out.
Oh, do you know what's going on here?
Not exactly.
Okay, what's your impression of what's going on?
I don't know. Seems sort of like a bunch of people hanging out. Maybe they were expecting some sort of right-wing groups to show up.
I just moved here from Houston. I was passing by, I seen it. This is crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like this.
You just moved to town?
Yeah, I only been here like a month. What the fuck is going on over there?
But they got signs, right?
I mean, I see the signs. I see it's that's weird to me. Like, I imagine like an anti-KKK, pro-Black Lives Matter type of ordeal. I've never seen anything like this. Like, they don't do this in Houston. So it's kind of,
oh, really? Is there no KKK activity in Houston?
No. Trust me, there's lots of racist KKK activity. I'm just saying, like,
there's no resistance to the KKK in Houston.
No, there's no people getting together in public places like this with signs like that. Like, you don't see that back home.
Huh. Yeah. Well, this town loves activism.
I know.
What if things get violent? Are you going to run, or are you going to stick around and watch? Or?
I don't think it's going to get violent towards me. Like, you know what I mean? But I mean, that'd be different. I ain't with that shit. Like, I don't know what they do here, but I don't play that shit. Yeah.
Is that a samurai sword you got?
No, it's my umbrella.
Oh, it's an umbrella. Yeah, okay. Are you just passing through, or are you part of the resistance here?
I'm here for the rally, but I'm not with any groups.
You're here with, what's that?
I'm not with any of the groups. I'm just here on my own.
Oh yeah, just checking things out, yeah. Are you, do you sell street roots?
Yeah, I used to sell them at most of the protests.
Oh, okay.
And the turnout here, I mean, I'm going to say there's at least 200 people out here today. So it's a good turnout. People are in good moods. There was a little fight around the corner and somebody just got arrested, but all in all.
Do you think the cops are going to get more aggressive, or do you think they're just trying to scare people? Or?
I don't know, because I haven't really interacted with them and I just got here. So, but I do know that people are mobilizing to move together as a group and take care of each other.
So the cops said that they saw somebody punching a videographer.
Really?
And I didn't see that. I haven't felt threatened. And
no, I didn't.
Do you think you'd follow up with that if they try to shut it down and say that there's violence? Like, was there really violence?
Was there? Because I didn't see that. I'm not saying there wasn't, but I did not witness it.
Well, I could only say if I get it on video, and I haven't. But,
right.
If you're writing an article, you could try to ask people questions, and nobody saw anything.
Yeah. So. People are reluctant to talk. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna say yes. that looks aggressive to me. Yeah.
It's a paddy wagon.
Yeah. That sounds like aggression. It seems like I have more stuff to go cover.
I knew what that was at first. I didn't catch that it was a hood.
We have to stand up to this shit. I don't want that feeling for anybody else. So if you can come down to Salem, 3 o'clock on the Capitol steps, we would love to have you. You're all welcome. Thank you all very much for your time.
It's 11 o'clock on Saturday in downtown Portland, Oregon. It is raining and it is cold and you are outside countering racists in your city, and I'm fucking proud of you. Fuck yeah, thank you so much to the Banana Band. Thanks to everyone for coming out. We are, you might have heard already that Mr. Shane Howard, Mr. Grand Wizard of the fucking KKK, whatever idiot douchebag living in his basement, that motherfucker canceled, so I'm going to be the very first to declare victory. But not just that, all right? It's 11 o'clock right now. We have a little bit of time. At about 11:45-ish, something like that, we're thinking a whole gigantic pile of pizza shows up for as everybody here, I think. It's a lot of pizza. In the meantime, dance, be merry, have fun, talk to people, make a friend you didn't know before you got here, and if you'd like to practice some tactics, over in the northeast corner, we're going to play around with a bunch of umbrellas and also some hula hoops covered in bubble wrap and talk about protest tactics. So find me over there. Again, thank you so much for coming out. You all fucking rule.
These are my people. Like, this is the group we got together. Like, all of them. Is that what you're asking? I'm not planning any further actions. What we do is direct action support. So we just show up and support the direct actions.
Because it sounds like the KKK is not showing up. And
I have no idea, but
so.
Fuck them in the ear.
Yeah.
And I had everybody's attention for a second, so I wanted to give them some love, you know, because, like, these are my people, and I know the struggles, like, and I don't even know all the struggles because I don't face the same challenges that other people do. So, you know, but, like, I have friends that have been directly their lives threatened by these people, and I grew up with the Aryan nations in Idaho, and I no platform where I was born here in the Northwest, but I know just as many crazy fucking white supremacist idiots that were homegrown up here in the Northwest as ever crawled out Mississippi. Like, they might roll with different methods, but I tell you what, there's just as much of a threat from our homegrown idiots as there are from...
Is Patriot Prayer the same as the KKK? They're just more deceptive?
The short answer is yes. I think Patriot Prayer are KKK wannabes. Like, their faith is not true. So none of these people are ever going to be the knights and warriors and whatever their stupid fucking costumes are that they think they are in their heads, because there is no way the same God that created this beautiful, glorious mess made this mess the inferior, you know, like, racism is fucked no matter if it's Patriot Prayer. And Joey Gibson's line is, oh, I'm half Japanese, so I can't be racist. I don't care, dude. The Japanese, you know, genocided in China.
Officers are taking
Don't tell me you can't be racist just because you're a person of color.
Okay, so do you think the cops are...
I have to go.
Yeah.
This is the Portland Police Police Bureau. Stop throwing things at officers. This is criminal behavior. If it continues, this event will be declared a civil disturbance. You will be subject to the use of force and arrest. Stay on the sidewalk. Stop assaulting officers. This is the Portland Police Bureau. There are individuals in the crowd committing crimes. For everyone in the park, be aware there are individuals in the crowd committing crimes. They are subject to the use of force and/or arrest. This is the Portland Police Bureau. Stay out of the street. Southwest Main is open to vehicular traffic.
Is nobody gonna see if he's okay?
He's
Dude,
fine.
they said they're
We
fine.
just checked on him.
You just
Why
watched
do
him.
you
You
care?
didn't check on him. You
Why
just
do you care? You
watched
called the
him.
cops on us.
Dude, he took a real hard fall.
You obviously don't care
He's
because you want to
walking
call the
around
cops on us.
limping. Somebody should check on him.
He's fucking 30. You should mind
No,
it.
you watched him. You didn't check on him.
I actually
just did.
Yeah,
I
he
went
did.
and went over. He tripped.
He fell.
We were like, oh, hey, you okay?
Are you okay?
No, I don't know. They're Randy Rainbow.
You look disgusting.
So I don't know about the crystals. They're Randy Rainbow.
So you got you seem like you're pretty brave to
Who are you?
stand around in this group.
You look like you're a commercial setup, and you do not have my permission to use my image for commercial purposes.
Yeah, no, he was.
Well, you're out in public, so.
Fucking cosplaying squad. He was like.
So who are you?
Push me out of my
And why are you capturing my image?
Because you're making statements.
Who are you?
This morning and say I'm gonna come down.
Who are you?
downtown Portland and just
Who
be the
are you
biggest piece of
broadcasting
shit.
for?
I'm just gonna be the
Who
biggest
are
piece of
you?
shit.
I
I
was
would look yourself in the mirror, brush
listen
your
to
teeth,
some white
and say, I'm gonna come
supremacists
down
and post
here
what they
and
say
just
online. But
For whom? You're gonna
fortunately,
post
they
for
haven't shown
whom?
up. Are you
That's
on the
what you
side of the
decided
white
to do.
supremacists?
That is
Absolutely
the
not.
Yes, she is. I cannot believe
So,
are
but
you
what if you're
broadcasting
against the Antifa, then you're pro KKK, right?
No, I'm not against Antifa. I'm here to express my right to
But you're
protest
not on the
Trump.
side of Antifa.
But you're pointing out people in I'm here to protest that Trump needs to be locked up.
But what does this protest have to do with?
Yeah, like you're
that?
kind of like mixing messages, and if you're calling the cops on us, you're actually fucking the whole thing up.
So is that true? Did you call the police on them?
So come on, oh my God. Hey, ignore her. She's not going to stop us.
I mean, they were. It looks like somebody threw a punch at you.
Oh yeah, probably.
And
You
they
know.
said you come by these events, and they sort of know you.
So I am protesting. I think that Trump needs to be thrown into prison.
Yeah, yeah.
So I am, you know, I associate myself with Antifa. I'm anti-fascist, and I think Trump's a fascist. I'm concerned what's going on in our country, to include the division and the destruction of my city. I'm here to protect my city.
And I'm totally non-judgmental. I mean, but I'm wondering what. You sound like you're on their side. How did they get to the point where they're yelling in your face?
Because they're trying to provoke a riot, and I'm trying to stop the riot. Politically, we're on the same side. We're all, you know, anti-fascists.
They're always looking for a sign. Like, what's the sign that you're?
They're trying.
you're
So
against them.
I support the protest. I support the right to protest, and I think it's necessary that Americans do protest. You know, assuming that there's a permit, and the permit says stay on the sidewalks. I want to make sure that the protesters stay in line so it doesn't provoke the police to respond. Every time the police respond, shit happens. It's never good when the police respond, and I would rather take a hit.
You're a fucking fed, and you kept trying to start fights. Fuck you too.
Fucking racist.
Don't try to film her. She just tried to start fights and start a riot.
Well, dude, I was filming her, and one of your dudes unplugged my camera.
Yeah, because she tried to punch people. She was trying to punch people.
She assaulted our
Yeah,
crowd.
then why would you unplug my camera?
You serve and protect your state.
I mean,
So I'm trying to protect the city.
that's what people were saying, was that you're like you're on the side of the police, and you are calling the police up and reporting them, and that's why. Because I mean, it looked really nasty.
So on a previous protest, the police hit me with tear gas. I fucking took a direct hit of tear gas. I'm hardly on the side of the police. I want to make sure that police contact doesn't happen.
But I'm just wondering what it was about them that
Today?
saw. Well, you were getting into a fight with the Black Bloc. There must have been something that triggered them.
I got into a fight with whom?
Well, I saw you getting
with whom?
I'm sorry. I don't mean you got into a fight. I don't mean you started it. I don't know who started it. All I saw.
But you said you got into a fight with.
You're a middle-aged woman. And there's a bunch of 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Men with bandanas.
Yeah, I thought you mentioned
intimidating.
somebody by name. I thought I didn't recognize the name.
No.
Okay.
Like they were saying you called the police on them.
At a previous time, I was assaulted. I was battered, and later I went to the police and filed a report. I have no idea who it was. What I was doing, what they were referring to when I called the police, is there was individuals that were throwing things, and I was in the crowd pointing them out, saying this person threw it. Right. So I think I'm not sure what all they're saying. It becomes white noise. I don't hear it. There's one of the good things about having 100 people yelling at you is that it just becomes white noise. Nothing pops out. Anyway.
Well, because my impression is that you're an alt-right troll.
You think that I'm an alt-right troll?
No, based on what they were saying about you.
Oh no! I'm definitely anti-Trump, anti-fascist.
Yeah.
And pro-Portland.
There is a middle ground.
I'm pro my city, and I do like it when protests march. I do like it that a true protest will go against the permit in order to be a true protest, and you can say, here's the permit, I'm going to get off the sidewalk. What I don't like is when when they deviate so far away from the permit, then they're destroying private and public property. It's horrible that one of our historic monuments, I don't even know what the monument is for, but it's a piece of public art. And it's horrible that it got destroyed today. Everybody in Portland is a victim of that. It's our public art. And 100% of the Portland population is a victim from this vandalism. And in the context of protests, what they've done is they've hurt the city, and that's what I'm trying to stop. Anyway, for as much as I can. In some ways, I think I'm more effective than the police because I can insert myself on the front lines. And if I take, a face full of pickle juice, it's much better than having a police line turn around and shooting tear gas. When the police get involved, it's never pretty.
So the activists were throwing a variety of different things, such as pizza crust, tangerines, and tennis balls. Everything that was thrown could be described as non-offensive.
What do you think about these police tactics?
Well, for the most part, they just kind of agitate people. I'm glad they've backed off because when they had the riot police here, it just kind of made everybody more upset and more frantic. And so they backed up. Right now, they're just being kind of ridiculous. Like, oh, you're in the park. There are people doing illegal things in the park, so look out.
So the riot police have actually gone. I didn't notice.
Yeah, they left.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
well, that doesn't mean they aren't. That doesn't mean they aren't somewhere in the area. They're just not visible. And if they're gonna exist, they should not be visible, because whenever they're visible, it just makes the crowd more upset, and it escalates the situation. So, riot police are never a good idea.
From what I saw, I was posted over there in the corner back when the police were starting to be over there and shouting at us. She was trying to point out people in the crowd who were throwing stuff at police. So she was trying to get people arrested.
And I heard she actually called the police.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't heard anything. I didn't see that with my own eyes, but I wouldn't doubt it because she was talking about it a lot.
What do you think she's really just an activist, or do you think she's like part of the police, or do you think she's a police informant, or?
From what I heard of I overheard a little bit of the conversation over there with her. She's former military, so she's kind of against this kind of movement against the KKK. Even though personally I feel like fighting fire with fire is really the only way we can do it. I have no love for fascism.
She got really angry when I was filming her, and then she claimed she did nothing, and I was like, well, okay. But
yeah,
okay.
no, she tried to. She grabbed somebody by the hood, I think, or just touched their shoulder or something. She was like, "That's the person." They were throwing oranges, and I'm over here like, these cops are in riot gear. You think an orange is going to stop them? Okay. But the cops are like that. It's not my first time in an anti-fascist against Nazi protest.
Do you think the cops have not really gone? They're just waiting or something? Or?
I wouldn't be surprised if they come back. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But as long as we try to keep it with good PR, as long as we try to keep it so that we look like the victims, we've already won. And I think just the fact that we were able to stop the KKK rally period means we've already won. Now we just have to keep keeping them out. If you really want to bring light to something, I think it'd be bringing light to the fact that the manager of, and I can pull it up on my phone here in just a couple minutes, the manager of PDX handing out PDX permits for rallies. I have no idea her political affiliations or anything about her. I just know that her NIG, and you can call her at 360 to protest this. Because I think what's really important is letting the city know that it's unacceptable that they're granting these permits to these people that don't represent peace. They represent violence and hate, and that's not acceptable. She actually approved this Proud Boy rally and gave them a permit to be here, and I think that's unacceptable because we have a right to peaceable assembly, and if your organization doesn't represent peace, then what the fuck are you doing here?
Has this been a success?
All of our rallies, the rallies that we come to are always a success. Pop Mob helps make it a little bit of a party. They do really great stuff. It's good to bring out some absurdness. That's what really keeps the KKK and neo-Nazis away. It's being kind of crazy and irreverent.
They were intimidated to show up, do you think? And that's why they didn't come? Or?
No, I don't
think
think they were
would've-
intimidated. I think it was that Stephen Howard fellow just pulling a media stunt. He has pulled media stunts before with the A&E television network. Well, they used to show up in Boulder, Colorado every year, and there'd maybe only like 10, 20 at most. And those were always permitted rallies.
You mean the KKK or the white supremacists?
Yeah, the actual KKK. Yeah, the real KKK.
That's where you grew up?
I grew up in many places. I have seen real KKK marching, lots of them, in Pulaski, Tennessee. So it's, yeah.
And do you believe that the Patriot Prayer is a KKK-affiliated organization?
They're spit-shined neo-Nazis. That's all it is. That's how the new neo-Nazi movement has gained so much traction. Is, back in, the 90s,
walking around in hoods, the shaved heads, you got your pants tucked in, your docks, you got your red laces. That was a really kind of scary image and really would turn off a lot of people that would potentially, fall into that path. And with the internet, and specifically Stormfront, the old Stormfront website, which I believe started in 95 or 96, they just realized that the shaved head, clan robe just isn't a good look. So as long as they shine themselves up, got a nice haircut, maybe read a couple issues of GQ, it did attract more people. I mean, this really, it's just so complicated. It just used to just be neo-Nazis and the KKK, and now we've got Gamer Gators, we've got Patriot Prayer, Proud Boys, Adam Waffen. Well, which there was that Canadian citizen that they arrested. Oh.
I can't believe that. It just bombed right in there. What to do?
The thing about government is that the government is supposed to organize us, not oppress us. There are more than 174,000 regulations that incriminate on our personal liberties. We have to redefine what a crime really is, because there are too many people in jail, and then when they come out, they're not able to live a sustainable life. We are creating criminals. Our system does not benefit or represent the people anymore. I believe that we need a government that represents us or none at all. Give me liberty or give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. And I think that this country really needs to understand what Operation Mockingbird is. It was implemented after my grandfather, JFK, was murdered.
What is Operation Mockingbird?
Operation Mockingbird was implemented by the FBI. Basically, the media is controlled by the FBI, and they want you to feel or react a certain way, and they manipulate and they lie. I have actually seen photoshopped footage of the DNC saying that these people were Hillary Clinton supporters when they were really Bernie Sanders supporters. In 2016, I saw a live footage broadcast from an indigenous man at the DNC. This is before the primary. Anybody is supposed to be able to go in and discuss who they want to vote for. But this man grabbed 3 women by the arm, threw them on the ground and said, if you're not here for Hillary Clinton, why are you here? That is fascism, and that is why we have to take it on, because we try to elect people who represent us, and then we are shut down. We are gaslighted, and we are beaten. When the majority of people want something, it's typically the heart, it's the liberal heart, the good heart. People can come to their own conclusions. A educated public is a free public.
Amen.
Thank you. I'm Kelsey Fitzgerald Kennedy,
Okay.
and I'm out of hiding now. I'm coming out with a book.
Okay, I look forward to that.
Thank you.
You got some good ideas.
Thank you. I've got a lot of models I'm working on, so we'll see how it goes.
I don't really know what happened. Someone, was spray painting that over there. They chased them down here, and some random person got arrested for like no reason at all. I don't know really what happened.
Well, I saw the cops come in on bicycles and they just tackled the guy.
Yeah,
and
they
just
were all
took
running
off like
through
a
here.
posse or something.
Yeah, and they chased him down here, and then some random woman who I don't think was doing anything at all got arrested. I don't know why.
That just means I can get more dirt. I've got resources. It's the part of being, you know, knowing what you do best. Between me filming and me doing what I do best at these things, I could be your best friend, I can be your worst enemy. And the cops have a worst enemy right now.
Were they fucking with you?
No, in the past previous times I did get arrested, but that was dismissed. So I'm going to be dropping names of certain officers here really soon, but I'm making sure I'm clear of all court proceedings before I do. So one was a DHS agent, and that's all I can say for now.
Dedicated to veterans, though. That's kind of fucking. That's dedicated to veterans. That's like, I don't know. That's kind of borderline not nice. That's not cool.
You don't like some of that stuff?
Well, only if it's desecrating what veterans have done.
Oh, you don't like that it's a veteran statue?
Well, yeah, only because it's veterans. That's my only argument there.
Okay. Do you otherwise approve of these the sentiments?
You know, then again, I'm kind of like stuck. I'm kind of perplexed because people are standing on the ground that could be pressure washed off. I don't see any chips or any kind of big gouges out of the actual structure. It's, you know, what it is? It's just a monument, okay? You know, anything that really matters is locked away in here inside your heart. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a, you know, there's no damage on it. It can be pressure washed off. So yeah, nobody threw nothing at it and damaged the actual integrity of the structure, so they can't really sit there and get you on, well yeah, spray paint. Pressure wash it off.
Do you,
It needs it, look, it needs it anyway.
Do you think words are violence? Like what if that said, like, go home?
Well, no, if it said go home, you know what, then that's not okay. Of course, now, you know, I see to kill cops, whether we like it or not. Only thing I'll say is cops I find to be a very necessary presence, depending on the situation and depending on the time. That I do know. Vinny, you're such a loser throwing coffee on people.
What? I just want to debate ideas. I came out here. Just somebody come out here and tell me why the fuck you guys have to destroy the city.
Because you support Donald Trump, you're a piece of shit.
I just coming out here and debating that. I'm not here on the side of the Klansmen. That's what you guys are saying. I'm out here to videotape you guys, and I see you guys destroying the city. Who the fuck has to clean that up? The city.
What happened with your hair? Did it look better before?
What?
Your hair looked better before. You totally fucking butchered it. What happened?
I decided to butcher it this morning. But the point is that fucking I came
no
out.
one would recognize you at the Klansman rally? Did you forget your hat?
What rally? You guys are the only ones here. Yeah, you are the only ones that cause any acts of violence and destruction in the city. No, it's August 24th all over again. You guys come out here claiming the. No, you came out here claiming the.
Fucking Klansmen wanted to take over our city. You know what's destroying Portland? The KKK!
I'm here to debate an idea. You guys are the ones who are mad. You guys are the ones throwing coffee, glitter on me. Although I do like the glitter. But the coffee, that was a little extra.
Go on Twitter if you want to debate. We're not
No, you guys can't even back up the argument there. It's best to do it in an open debate.
No platform for hate! No platform for hate!
No
platform for hate!
Everyone walk forward.
No platform for hate!
Everyone.
No platform for hate! No platform for hate!
Keep walking.
I'm the one destroying it.
Joey gets in your fucking clip and you're right here.
How am I making progress? How am I doing it? Yeah, because you have nothing. Because you're a fucking liar.
Your protection's right there. Go,
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. I don't know you guys. You better keep your hands up.
Keep
I don't know
walking.
you guys.
Keep
I
walking.
don't know you.
Keep going.
Push on me one more
Keep
time,
going.
man. Don't push on me.
Keep
Don't
going.
fucking push on me,
You're not
man.
you're not welcome.
I don't fucking know you.
You're not welcome.
You don't scare me, bitch.
Walk away.
No.
Walk
I'm fucking
away.
you as a free citizen.
Walk away.
Fuck you. You ain't my dad.
No, you're instigating.
No, if you were,
you
you
almost
almost
fucking coming up here. Oh, sorry, you got some glitter on you for me.
keep walking.
Fuck you.
You can just leave. You can just leave. Nobody wants you here.
Go back to 4chan.
Hey, 4chan's my home, man. That's my
Go
home.
back to 4chan. Your mommy Haley's not here. She probably go back to 4chan.
No,
Go back to 4chan.
Bullshit.
Go back to
First time you have to
4chan.
fuck a woman to be my dad.
Go back to 4chan.
Just leave.
Go, dude. What the hell?
It's raining, man.
Hey, the gift's over for you. You're not getting any money out of this, so you might
I'm
as
not
well
want
leave.
money. I want to know why the fuck y'all come up into my city and destroy it. Y'all claim it's you guys' city, but then why do you guys treat it like crap?
Who say you're fucking
You have better shit to do. No,
You're the only
my
trash
city.
I see.
Nowhere, dog.
What's your name?
You're the only trash I see.
Michael.
You can ask my name but not shake my hand. Listen. Fucking debate me! Somebody tell me why the fuck you come here and destroy my city! How am I stupid when you guys come here and destroy my city? Then why do you destroy it?
I'm not fucking destroying
Then why do you allow people to come here and defile our city? Who got murdered? Who got murdered? Then why are you guys taking up all these law enforcement time? Back up. Don't be pressing up against me. I don't fucking know you. Then why are you bother all these law enforcement when they could be used?
You know why they're here? You know why they're here? Because
Get up.
you wanted to rally. That's why they're here, because your friend's a fucking Klansman.
You're not my friend. Why you gotta lie? Why you gotta lie?
Joey Gibson's your friend.
He's not a Klansman.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. He's fucking Asian, dog. He's fucking Asian. You have to be white to be a Klansman. This ain't some black Klansman bullshit.
Stupidest thing I've heard all fucking day.
All right, then what white supremacy is there if all races are invited?
You think white supremacy is
No,
making white
your
people
guys' ideas are so fucking stupid.
You
I
wanted
can do
to
it.
debate, but
I'm
you
already
fucking
tearing
over
them
it,
apart and
dumbass.
I'm barely trying.
I thought you wanted a debate. Let her talk.
And not scream with your face up on.
Oh, so we're not even going to start on a mutual respect. All right, then just continue. Continue spitting your shit.
I'm Yara, all right? You don't have to be white to be white.
here for your respect. Oh, wait, what?
You don't have to be white to think white people are better than you. The Axis powers in World War II, can you list to me the Axis powers?
The Axis powers.
Axis powers in World War II, do you know who they were?
No! You don't know these
Do you know who they were?
And you shouldn't put glitter in somebody's fucking mouth.
I didn't put glitter in your mouth, bitch. You know all the fascists in World War II?
So you're talking
There's
about
the Germans. Who else?
Somebody.
Who else?
I don't think Japan actually counts because they weren't fascist.
They were an Axis power in World War II, which was a fascist movement, believing that people were, that white people were better than Jewish people and disabled people and gay people and everyone else who
everybody
did.
got fucked over then. What does that have to do with now?
You don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. You don't have to be white to be a fucking fascist.
Yeah, fucking a fascist is an ideology that's not bound by race.
Dude, there are gay people who fucking hate themselves for being fucking gay.
Then you should probably help them.
Fucking, you can be
You
fucking
can help them. They're part of your
and
crew.
fucking.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the one idea that a black man could be a white supremacist.
Yes.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that shit.
A black person that thinks white people are better than they are is a fucking
Black white supremacists. Look it up. I can think of
there's one. Like, it's not that hard to understand.
Hey,
It's
don't
like
you fucking disrespect law
basic
enforcement
shit.
like that.
He's a pig.
Is the sound of the cock's cock, the cop's cock in your mouth.
There's some boots for you.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying.
Cops shouldn't protect Nazis!
Watch out, you don't trip on those oranges, guys.
Let the young man go home.
He's trying to get people to attack him so that, like,
He wanted somebody to throw a punch.
Right.
Where the cops were watching.
right.
And
'cause-
then they could just come in and arrest everybody.
yeah. Well, that
He
can also
seems like
roll
he
as
was-
propaganda. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right. So, how did you first discover that he, like right now, what made you realize that he was in Patriot Prayer? Do you recognize him?
I
or-
had been told, like, that he was, and then he kind of verified it. Like, so I'd been told, and then he came over and admitted that he was buddies with one of the major people in Patriot Prayer.
Joey Gibson.
Yep,
Yeah,
Joey
yeah.
Gibson.
Do you think the cops were behind him or something? Because it was weird that they showed up and were just like standing there while you were having the argument with him.
You know, I'm not
High
sure.
Alcatraz,
Okay.
you know what I mean? The Oka crisis.
So
I
what
don't
are-
know, honestly.
So what is his deal? I mean, he's in Patriot Prayer, but then he denies everything. Did he say what he wants? Like, does he want like a
So
Portland or something? Or?
I think he's just an obnoxious dickweed. Honestly, he fucking like coming over here and demanding that people fucking debate him is ridiculous. Like, first of all, like there's never gonna be a good faith argument from those types of people. I think people like Steven Crowder fucking think, like, make people like that think that it makes them look like strong and badass and rational to come over and, you know, debate random people in the street, which is stupid for like 30 different reasons.
Yes.
Not one of, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's also looking for views, hoping that somebody else is going to catch it and then he can just pass it around and show to his buddies, hey, look what a badass I am, you know, I wrecked a leftist, or fucking, yeah. And then the fact that, like, did you see how he willfully misunderstood, like, he willfully fucking refused to understand that, like, white supremacy affects people of all races. like, that's inarguable. And like, when I pointed out that like some gay people have like shame and like over being gay and believe that heterosexuality is like superior, so like you can be a straight supremacist and gay, so being a white supremacist and not white, like clearly it's built with like, you know, like there's shame from like the media showing that like, you know, white saviors and fucking black people like are often painted in a poor light, Hispanic people are often painted in a poor light or completely absent. And you know, that
Whiteness
affects
is like a state of mind, and so anybody of any color could adopt that state of mind. Yeah, and he was saying a black person can't be in the KKK or racist or something.
Right.
And they never surrendered.
Right.
They walked
And
out
I
of
mean,
there, you know what I
like
mean?
when
That
I
looks like
pointed
a
that out,
military attack.
he didn't have anything except, well, you should help that person. Like, for example, like when I said, for example, you can be gay and think and believe in heterosupemacy, like he immediately was like, you should help that person, and I'm like,
to this day, you know what I'm saying?
You mean this is like a gay person who like willingly signs up for conversion therapy or something?
yeah, or gay people who have this like deep-seated belief that being straight is better or morally better, which causes people to like sign up for conversion therapy, stuff like that, or believe that gayness is evil. So when I was pointing out that it's not a contradiction being black and a white supremacist, like when I was trying to point out that that was not a contradiction, I used that as an example. And like, he had nothing to say besides, you should help that person, which...
What did you take that to mean?
I took it to mean that he didn't have a fucking argument against that. He didn't know what else, like...
You know, it could be better, but like...
He didn't have any, like... He didn't have an opinion based on fact or logic or anything, so he threw out whatever he could to escape, you know, to escape that shit.
The hospital downtown was code black, with all of the victims of pepper spray being knocked out with bats, baseball bats, and maced and stabbed in the chest. And I just thought that was not okay, so it kind of drove me to become a medic there. I was only 16 at the time, and I was taking care of stab wounds that should not have happened. My friend, Latina trans woman, was one of the first to be stabbed, and she seeing her in the hospital, just what drove me to be a medic. And now I come out. I don't really even need to know what it's about. I'm kind of summoned by a bunch of my friends to just help protect the anti-fascists because their movement, it matters. There's really no place for me. And just the fact that the Portland City granting a permit to the Nazis is unacceptable. We have a right to peaceable assembly, and if you represent hate and violence, then there's no place for you on this planet. There's no place for you in this country, in this city, and we want to send a message that they need to get out and stay out. We can't accept that in our city, and we can't accept that anywhere.
What were your concerns here today? What did you fear might happen, and what were you preparing for?
I was preparing for stab wounds, pepper spray mostly, police action. In fact, a woman of color got tackled by 4 policemen against the bench right there and was arrested. I'm not even sure she was doing anything wrong. There was also another black man. It was disgusting to see that they beelined right for the people of color. Like, I could see it on their faces that they were going specifically for the people of color, and that's just disgusting to me. But yeah, I prepare for everything. I prepare for the worst. I have all sorts of gear in my backpack for any occasion.
I think that's all we were looking for. Anything else you want to tell us?
No hate in Portland. No hate anywhere. Get out. Stay out.
You from this area?
I'm from Vancouver, yeah. I represent a few different, I don't represent, but I'm with a few different organizations like the Future Rebellion and 350 PDA. And I was here independently, not with them this time. I was here independently as a medic.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Yeah, the media and the police definitely usually side with the fascists. For example, I witnessed an event over, at the last one we were protesting against the Proud Boys, I witnessed an event where a couple, or a man and his daughter, I don't know, he looked like 20 years older than her. Anyway, so I think it was a couple. They came over and started harassing people. They came from the Proud Boys protest, harass people on the counter protest, and completely just said a couple of racist things to the black woman. We're just being shitheads.
So I heard about this. So what was this? There were some Proud Boys. There were some Proud Boys in the crowd.
Yes.
And they were harassing some black people
They
here?
came from the other side at the last Proud Boys, the last protest where the Proud Boys.
Oh, you're talking about the last protest?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I was as an example of why a lot of the media sides with, the right.
Yeah.
So they came over and were just being assholes, this couple. And people made fun of them, yelled at them, and they eventually backed away and walked off. And the way that Oregonian reported it was two, crazy leftists attack, a couple walking down the street and chase them down the street. It was ridiculous. It was yeah, it was insane.
Well, I was watching the K2 News, and they were interviewing a support medic, I think, in Antifa. And, she was saying, we were, violence was inflicted on us. And so do you think K2 is going to have a balanced story tonight about it? Or do you think that they're going to find a way to slander you? Or
I don't know about K2. There's a good chance that they'll put her perspective up and then just find anything they can to throw up as a contrast.
Right.
Contrast her with, people in scary masks and maybe graffiti or whatever, and just use it to contrast. For some reason, they seem to do that shit a lot. Because...
fair and balanced?
Yeah. Freaking insane. Anyway, they're not as bad as the Oregonian. I don't know how bad it's gonna be. Although not as bad as the Oregonian, it's much of a... It's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, that looks great. What is that?
Oh, it's a camera.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering what you made of this whole thing.
I lost my Game Boy and I'm trying to get a new Game Boy. I could just ask for it because I get Social Security money. And
So you didn't see anything about the people going by or know what was going on?
I didn't see anything, but some people put my Game Boy in the microwave, and so I figured